What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Daniel Artest podcast, man. Today, we're going to talk about the NBA basketball from last night. I got two guests with me that I'm going to bring on to the show right now. I have Nitin Ramachandra from the NR Hour. I guess I'm saying his name correct as usual. And I have Global Kid Media, in the building. So, hey, Global Kid, let everybody know what's going on with you, man. Introduce yourself to the public, man.
What's good, y'all? Global Kid Media, Vedant Gupta, you can call me whatever, Global Kid. 14-year-old president of Global Kid Media, started 2.5 years ago at 11, done 1,000 interviews, built pretty much my own brand around that, and every star player you can think of across all leagues, I've talked to most of them. Just trying to be that first kid on national TV as a host, reporter, producer, something with the broadcast. I want to inspire millions of kids. You can do whatever you want.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's what you've been doing, man. You've been doing this for so long, and you're 13 years old right now, right?
Just turned 14.
Oh, you just turned 14. Well, happy belated birthday, man.
Thank you. Hey, me and Nitin are on the same day.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So happy belated birthday to you too, Nitin,
Yeah, big 25, man.
Yeah, man. I'm the oldest. I'm the grandfather of the group at 37. Sheesh. I got kids almost your age, Global. So like that's crazy that you've been doing this since you was 11 years old, man. I really think that you're gonna have a big future in it. I remember I think Sham Shania started out really young too as well, and then now he's
Big
he's like the biggest free agent now in this game and everything, But yeah, man, I'm glad to have y'all on. So today, we're gonna talk about the NBA. We're gonna recap the NBA from yesterday, and we're just gonna get right into it with Jamal Murray, scoring 50 points yesterday against Utah to force the Game 7. It's been crazy. They're still alive.
Yeah. So you want to go first, Global?
Man, I want to say, first of all, I was watching the press conference of his afterwards, and that was inspirational just to see him put the shoes up there on the podium and keep it for 2 minutes, and even the talk he gave. But hearing the motivation behind his performance, seeing the way that he just clutched up, and even Donovan Mitchell, an honorable mention, put up 44 points, but still, you just got Jamal Murray going crazy.
Yeah, man, I was really excited about it yesterday, Nathan. I kind of felt like Denver had to win that game so we could hear that speech from Jamal Murray yesterday.
I mean, I picked the Jazz to close it out yesterday, but I knew something. I knew something with Jamal Murray is going to happen, and he did light it up, 50 points, and it's going to be. I think this is going to be an interesting Game 7. So I feel like not only Mitchell and not only Murray from both teams, everybody has to step up now in the Game 7, and I think it's going to be a close game again, and I'm really looking forward to this game. I think I think this game will come down to. Here, I think the most important thing is free throws in this game. Whoever makes the most whoever has the most free throws will win the game, in my opinion.
I don't know. We shall see, But we got to stay on Jamal Murray for a second because he was amazing, right? 50 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. His third straight game with at least 40 points. I think the last person to do that was Allen Iverson, man. Like Jamal Murray's special, man. What you think about Jamal Murray, man?
He got one more game to tie that MJ record of 4 games with 40 points plus, and I'm looking forward to this kid performing in the postseason the way he's done it so far.
Yeah,
and Jamal Murray is going to come down to him and Donovan Mitchell. That's going to be the matchup everyone's going to be watching again, how both of them perform in the next game. And yeah, the free throws are going to be big. The shot's going to be big, but I feel like defense is going to be a huge factor for both teams as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely, like what they say, defense wins championships. I was just amazed yesterday with the play of them, man. Donovan Mitchell, like even him, had a great game, 44 points. He had 9 3-pointers, 6 rebounds, 5 assists as well. But he didn't get no help because Michael Conley, besides Donovan Mitchell, Michael Conley was the only one to score 20 points. So they're gonna have to regroup and get ready for Game 7. This.
Yeah, for sure, man. This they need to come up with a better game plan to defend Jamal Murray, because if he lights it up again, like I said, it's going to be a close Game 7 in my opinion. I don't want to see a blowout. I want to see a close, tight game in the fourth quarter. I would like to see it go overtime, but both teams need to change their game plans how to defend Mitchell and Murray.
Yeah, definitely. I think Utah has the edge. Global committee. Utah has the edge to me. I mean, not Utah. I'm sorry. Denver has the edge to me because they
Yeah.
played in 2 Game 7s already. Last season they won the first round last year, and then they lost to Portland in the second round. And that experience right there will definitely be crucial as they prepare for tomorrow night's game.
Hey, the other thing is momentum. They got all the momentum coming into this next game. If they
Yes,
can
sir.
carry out that and go forward with that, nobody's stopping them. So I feel like if they win Game 7, they're going to be a dangerous team, period, not just against the Jazz. Whoever comes their way, they're going to be ready for that.
Yeah, and that's awesome that you mentioned the momentum because you're right about that. They have all the momentum now. Listen, they had their backs against the wall for 2 games, and they came back from double digit deficits in both games as well. I know for Utah though, it got to be demoralizing, man, because they couldn't get those wins to go to the second round, and then now it's like win or go home.
Man, I mean, Utah, they're still playing their heart off. I mean, it's just going to have to be that they can't blow those. When they get those double-digit leads, they have to keep those.
Yeah.
They can't just blow those. They have to be able to contain Jamal Murray, like Nathan said. If they can contain Jamal Murray, then I feel like they can win the game.
I feel like I think the two players I'm really looking forward to seeing in this Game 7, Rudy Gobert against Jokic. So I'm gonna see how they do in a Game 7. They're both big men. So
Yeah. Rudy has a hard time staying with Jokic on the perimeter and stuff, and for a great shot blocker, for a great rim protector, Jamal Murray has been attacking Rudy a lot.
Yeah,
I've been enjoying that, going at his chest, not being scared at everything. Yeah, man, it's just Rudy gonna have to figure it out, man, because like he got lost on the pick and rolls. You know what I'm saying? You see him, and sometimes his anger gets the best of him. It takes him out of his own game and stuff. So he has to, lock in and focus in and get this Game 7 out the way, man. But we're gonna still talk about Murray. We still got to talk about Murray in this Donovan Mitchell matchup, man. Listen, I'm staying on it for a little second, man, because this has been the storyline all series long. They going toe to toe. Mitchell averaging 38. Jamal Murray averaging 34 over the past 3 games. Jamal Murray averaging 48 points. Think about it. He scored like 21 points in the fourth quarter yesterday, 16 points in the fourth quarter the game before that. Like Jamal Murray is not afraid of the moment, Nathan, and he just keeps coming through for Denver. Like they'll be home right now if it wasn't for his clutch play, Nathan.
Oh no, Jamal Murray, man, he's a stud. He's improving his game every year, and this guy is like he's a proven star. And with him stepping up, they obviously they're still in the playoffs, but they need him. They need him in a big way, and he's showing it too. So this guy is he's great under the pressure, under the bright lights, and he's showing that he's not scared of the big game. So I really like what he's doing right now with Denver.
Yeah.
And I mean, if we're going to talk about the Joker, obviously complements him really well. The Joker not playing too shabby himself. So if we can continue to see a good, solid game out of him as well. I mean, last night, 22 points. So if he can keep up that kind of play with his 9 assists, get a couple more boards up on that stat sheet, I feel like the Nuggets could do really well. But I mean, there's not much to say about Jamal Murray. He's proved himself.
Yeah, exactly. The crazy thing is this, right? Like with Jamal Murray, my opinion on him is like he's an amazing player, right? But he only averaged 18 points a game this past season. And I'm watching his game, I'm watching how he play. I'm like, this dude, he's a scorer. Like he should be at least 25, 26 points per game. He has a potential. Y'all see, and I'm like, hold on. This is what you're giving me right now in these playoffs. Like, where has this been? I don't even understand it. Like he needs to do more for me in the regular season because he has the talent, man. He has the talent in this.
Yeah, he does have the talent, and he needs to show more. But I'm hoping that he can step it up in these playoffs coming up.
Yeah, I agree. I hope so too, man. They got to win though. You know what I mean? We can't talk about the next round yet. You know what I mean? They got to get the win, man. But I like Jamal Murray, his moment yesterday after the game, which was more inspiring than his actual performance. He had 50 points, but the post game when he was talking about, the social injustice in this world and everything like that. He was struggling to find the words actually to explain. He just pointed to the shoes and as inspiration. They had the faces of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, the two victims to police violence, which police hasn't been arrested for yet. So please, arrest those murderers out there. But moving on from that, he said the shoes gave him strength to keep fighting, man. That was awesome. An awesome moment right there.
Like he said, he put the shoes on the podium for 2 minutes. He came back and said 2 minutes. One of the people on those shoes had a knee on their neck for 8. So just hearing him, like you said, he was almost struggling for words, but the way he did it was powerful. And it's got to be the shoes, man. Just Jamal Murray overall as a leader has stepped up during his playoffs on and off the court. I don't care what anyone says about his off the court performance as well.
Yeah, exactly. But listen, my guy from Indiana, Hamilton East High School, Gary Harris came back from injury yesterday, and he's still a part of this Nuggets rotation, man. See, a lot of people was going to point out that he only played 20 minutes, but he had like 6 points or whatever. But during his minutes, man, he locked up Jordan Clarkson, and I've been saying on my podcast that every time Jordan Clarkson plays good, they win. He was coming off the bench scoring 20, 26 or whatever, and they've been winning. And Gary Harris, he kind of shut that down. Jordan Clarkson only had 11 points on 5 of 14 from the field. And like I said, Clarkson has been he's been the important part of Utah's success, man. And they missed his scoring off the bench, man. But that was all Gary Harris defense right there.
Yeah, Gary Harris, man, he's an underrated player. No one talks about him that much. He's a good piece to have on a playoff team and a contending team. And this guy can defend, obviously a great defender, and he can shoot the ball. So I really like him coming back, and that's a good, valuable piece. And I think he's one of the players that could make the big difference in a game 7.
Yeah, I agree with that, man, because that bench, the others is going to need to step up. And Gary Harris defensively can definitely stop that, man. But we're gonna move on now. We're gonna talk about the Clippers. They beat the Dallas Mavericks to get them up out of here, 111-97. The series was a tough 6-game series. I didn't think that was going to be this tough. I had Clippers in 6, but I just thought it was going to be like a traditional easy 6 games. But it has been really competitive. Now the Clippers wait for the winner of the Nuggets and Jazz series and stuff. And listen, Kawhi Leonard yesterday, 33 points, 14 rebounds, 7 assists. Paul George, still working his way through 15 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists and everything. Dallas, man, with no Porzingis, it was tough. And so, Luka Doncic had to put on a backpack again, 38, 9, and 9, man. He just didn't get enough help yesterday, Nith.
Yeah, I mean, Porzingis obviously not being there was a big loss, but I mean, I just want to say congrats to the Dallas Mavericks on a great season, and no one expected them to go far, but this team competes hard, and they're going to be a force to reckon with in the future. And to have Porzingis with Luka Doncic, and obviously Mark Cuban is going to put more pieces around these two players, and this team showed everyone. They put respect on their name, because they showed in this playoffs they can handle, stay close with high caliber teams, and watch out for the Mavericks next year. But when it comes to Porzingis' injury, like I said, he needs to be in the weight room during the offseason to get better, and he needs to put a little bit more muscle. And if he does that, then he'll be fine. But I just want to say congrats to the Mavericks on a great season.
Now, I want to say about Porzingis, I mean, but with the Clippers, a team that's highly defensive, great defensive team. If you look at their matchups that they're going to come up next with, obviously in the Western Conference Finals, if it's the matchup against the Lakers, their defense is going to be a big part of that team. So on the defensive side of things, I feel like the Clippers really locked things down, and the Mavericks lost some of that with Porzingis out. And if he was in that game, that could have made partially a little bit of a difference there. I don't know. Like we're all going to say, hats off to the Mavericks for their performance. They're going to come back stronger next year and surprise a lot of people.
Yeah, and I want to know how Luka's going to come back. He was averaging 31, 9, and 9 in the first round, and he made Kawhi Leonard and Paul George look bad at times. Like they couldn't guard him, and it was surprising. Like that, I didn't expect that. That's why I thought it was going to be an easy 5-game series because I thought that they were going to hound Luka, and then they tried to, but there was nothing they could do with them with Luka Nith.
Yeah, Luka Doncic had a great game, but like he needs everybody needed to step up yesterday except for him, and but Luka, man, he's a star and he's a proven star, and he showed that he can. He's not afraid of the playoffs. He shines every game, and but they needed help from the bench with Porzingis out. So, but not. I mean, only him will not do anything. But he had a great game though.
Yeah, I think next year when everybody's healthy, KD, Clay, and Steph coming back all healthy and stuff, I still think Luka's a top 5 player, man. Like he skipped, he leaped a lot of players, man. That's just my opinion. I'm sticking to it. I'm right. I'm on Luka. I'm the president of the Luka Doncic fan club. I just want to let everybody know that. But let's talk about Kawhi Leonard, man. Is Kawhi Leonard the best player in the league come playoff time?
I would say yes. I think he's one of the best clutch players in the league, and this guy, man, when it comes on the court, he's a competitor, and he plays no games. He just attacks the rim, shoots the ball from the 3, and does everything well. And yeah, this guy is the best player in the playoffs.
Yeah,
I would say besides Luka, it would be Kawhi because I mean Luka put on a show. You can't deny that.
Yeah,
The way he played, even though that they lost, but I would say Kawhi is right up there because of the way that he's consistent every time. I know Paul George has struggled with the consistency, but if you can get both of them playing really well, then that's a really, really dangerous team.
Yeah, Kawhi, man, he had 5 games of 30 points in a straight 30-point games 5 times in a row. He's able to get to his spots too as well. He can get in the paint. He could create for himself when he get in the paint, or just create other scoring options for his teammates and everything. Like he just be in full control, man, when he's playing, especially in that fourth quarter, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. When Dallas was getting back into the game, like Kawhi Leonard had a stretch where he had a dunk, a jumper, in like 3 minutes to just get the game back. I'm gonna take the control back of the game, man. Like when it comes down to it, you're gonna want Kawhi on your team, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? This is exactly what the Clippers was hoping for when they signed him, man.
Yeah. So this Kawhi Leonard, man. Obviously no, but Paul George, he needs. I mean, Paul George is another one. I think he needs to step up more. Obviously, he had a great game the game before this one, but he needs to step up more, especially in this later rounds if they want to get to the finals. Paul George definitely needs to step up.
But yeah, there's no question about that. And man, just if they can continue to get that momentum, again, it's all about momentum in these NBA games, especially come the fourth quarter. Whoever has momentum is going to carry that team to the W.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Paul George is going to definitely have to step up. He's not Pandemic P no more. He's back to Paul George, but the jury is still out on him. His application is still under review. But this series was still feisty though. Think about it. Game 1, Kristaps Porzingis ejected for fighting or almost fighting and stuff when he was trying to help Doncic out. The situation with Montrezl Harrell and Luka Doncic. That thing that was actually overblown, I think. But also Marcus Morris stepping on Luka Doncic's ankle. Coach Carlisle ejected. Then again, Marcus Morris ejected for fouling Luka. It was crazy, man. Like that the series has been real feisty, and I think that this is going to be the next NBA rivalry for the next couple of years because now Luka's going to come up. That team's going to get better and come up as well, man. You know what I mean? Both of them going to be power players in this Western Conference next year. The next few years.
Well, I agree with you 100%, man. Clippers, Mavericks. Let's let that games begin because Mavericks is going to be in the playoffs next year for sure. They're going to obviously get more players, more talent, and like I said, the Mavericks are a team to be forced to reckon with and put some respect on their name.
Yeah, can we not forget about the fact that Luka was playing for some games on a hurt ankle?
Yeah.
and still putting up the numbers he was putting up.
This is amazing.
I feel like next year it's not going to be the first round matchup Clippers versus the Mavericks. That's going to be, I feel like the Mavericks are going to be a lot better regular season team as well that can put them at potentially number 1 or 2 seed, and I think that could be the Western Conference matchup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me give you guys a hot take here. I'm gonna put a bold prediction right now. Giannis ends up in Dallas.
I don't know about that one, man. That might be a little bit too hot.
Yeah.
That might be too spicy, man. Speaking of spicy, as we segue to the next subject, Boston.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Easy versus Spicy P in them. Listen, this game was so boring. I was really annoyed. Because it was the first game of the day yesterday, and I'm like, all right, second round in the playoffs. Boston, Toronto. Toronto's trying to defend their title. Boston wants it. I'm like, all right, Toronto's like they're not going to let it go, but Toronto didn't come to play yesterday, man. They wasn't there. I don't know where they was at. They probably was still in their hotel room. Yeah. But Boston, man, they play really good, man. 21 points apiece from Marcus Smart and Jason Tatum. Kemba Walker had his first career double-double in the playoffs, 18 and 10 assists. And Jaylen Brown had 17 points and 5 boards, man. But let's talk about Boston's defense, man. Like they shut down. They locked them up.
Yeah. Speaking of Boston, man, being 5-0 in the bubble right now in the playoffs is just amazing what they're doing. Boston is a scary team. Brad Stevens has them playing at a high level, obviously, and they're known for defense. So I wouldn't expect the worst from them, especially on defense. But yeah, they definitely locked them down and only held the Raptors to 94 points, which is amazing because Raptors can score the ball well. And it's only game 1, so it's not. The series is not. It's not going to be a sweep, obviously. But I feel like Boston. This Boston could potentially, if they continue playing well, Boston could potentially be in the finals this year because this team is scary. I'm telling you, Boston is.
For me personally, whoever comes out of this matchup is going to the finals because I feel like either of these teams can potentially, unless the Bucks really step it up, beat the Bucks. For me, the Raptors, they're really one of the only team scoring teams in the NBA right now. There's no duos or trials on that team. It's a well-rounded team, and when they can't play like that, when they can't pass the ball, when they can't distribute the ball well, they're going to struggle. And when the way Boston locked that down yesterday was really well, so they continue to do that. I think the Raptors got to get it together as far as the team ball because that's the only thing that really prevents them from succeeding. So I feel like that's going to be the story for the Raptors, and if the Celtics can continue to lock that down, there's no question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree, man. Boston, they held Toronto to 36% shooting and 25% from 3, man. And they also only had 7 fast break points, and that's how Toronto be thriving. That's how they get some of their points as well with their fast break opportunities and stuff. So basically, Toronto was just forced to operate in the half court. And that's why they couldn't. Listen, you cannot have a half-court offense against Boston. They're going to shut that down, and I think that Boston's going to continue to limit their fast break opportunities for Toronto. So they're going to have to figure out how to generate easier looks in this half-court in this series. And it's funny because like a week ago, I did a podcast and I was talking about how this series is not really just Toronto versus Boston. It's really Brad Stevens versus Nick Nurse. And Nick Nurse, he got to make adjustments for game 2. Nith, like, what you think about that?
Yeah, he definitely does need to make adjustments, especially on the defensive side. And let me tell you something about the Raptors. The Raptors will compete hard in this series. I'm telling you, no one. Some people think already it's gonna be a sweep. I say no, it's gonna be. I say it's gonna be a tough fought series. And but Nick Nurse is a hell of a coach, so he's known for his adjustments. And I feel like the Raptors will play better in game 2. But especially on the defensive side, they're known for defense too. But I don't know what happened yesterday. But I feel like they're going to be it's going to be a better game for them, game 2.
Yeah, I hope so. And I want to talk about Pascal Siakam real quick. He stepped into the role of the man as Kawhi left to go to the Clippers. Averaging career highs across the board, became an all-star. But as like what All-Star is supposed to do, he didn't do, and that was step up for their team in the postseason, man. Like game 1, yesterday he didn't do it. 3 first quarter fouls. He's on the bench. He can't really get into a rhythm. He only had 13 points, but took 16 shots. You know, missing all his 3-point attempts and only getting to the foul line about 4 times or whatever. You know, as a basketball player myself, you know what I mean? If I'm struggling from the floor, I'm looking to attack the basket, whether, you know, offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds, just to get a feel of the game, you know? And I just felt like yesterday Siakam didn't do that. He was like really passive, and they're going to need him to be more aggressive if they want to have a chance in this series because, you know, Boston, they're dogs, man, and they'll jump out on you and take this game from you real quick.
I feel like with the Raptors, when they're really blowing teams out, Fred VanVleet's on his game as well. He's putting up 20-something, sometimes even, you know, closing in on 30. And last night he put up 11. So if he can kind of step it up a little bit, like I said, the Raptors as a whole, if everyone can do a little bit better. But, yeah, Pascal Siakam has got to step it up if the Raptors want a chance.
Yeah, Pascal Siakam, a.k.a. Spicy P, he had a great game. I mean, obviously he's having a great playoffs, but he needs to step up, especially in this series against Boston. He needs to score the ball, play defense, and do his thing. And especially the other Raptors need to step up too. But for Spicy P, he's showing that he can be a guy that can lead this team in the playoffs. So that he especially in this series, he needs to step it up too.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we're gonna need you, Spicy P, to step up because you know you got that $130 million. You know what I mean? You gotta earn that. You gotta earn your keep, brother. You know what I'm saying? But before we get out of here, over the weekend, you know, we lost some icons in the sports world. You know, Luke Olson passed away at 85 years old. Coach Luke Olson, he coached Arizona 24 seasons, going 589 and 187. That's his record. With Arizona, have 4 Final Four appearances, went to the NCAA tournament 23 straight years in a row, and he has 11 Pac-10 titles. He got a national championship in 1997 with you know, Mike Bibby, Jason Terry, and everybody. He also was in the Basketball Hall of Fame, and he also the Naismith Memorial Hall of Fame and the College Basketball Hall of Fame. And you know, he coached you know, Steve Kerr. Like, Lou Olson's an amazing coach, and it's just really sad that he passed away.
Yeah, I really don't know too much about him, but like you said, the accolades, man, what a heck of a career as a coach. But I haven't watched him coach, but I feel like that he's an icon for basketball, and he'll be missed. And I'm hoping that his legacy will be lived on. And but like you said, his accolades are it's off the charts, and was a great coach.
Yeah, definitely. He definitely created a lot of NBA players, man. You know, really, really dope coaching. And it's sad that he's going to be missed. And another coach passed away, John Thompson from Georgetown today, man. You know, passed away at age 78, and he had a career record of 596 wins, 239 losses in his 25 years at Georgetown. First African American coach in an NCAA championship, man. Also, he won 2 titles with the Boston Celtics in the 60s with Bill Russell in the gang. And also at Georgetown, he coached Allen Iverson, Alonzo Mourning, Sleepy Floyd, you know, Patrick Ewing. You know, and 97% of the players he coached got their college degree. And there's a bunch of firsts, man. He's also the first African-American president of the National Basketball Association coaches. He's also the first African-American Division I Basketball Coach of the Year. He won that in 1982, 1985, and 1986. He's also the first African-American coach in the Big East Conference in 1979. And he also won Coach of the Year in the Big East in 1980. 1987 and 1992, man. John Thompson, you know, is a legend, a great coach, but even a better person, a better man. And you know, I always enjoy watching him coach. I always enjoy watching his teams play and stuff like that. And he's definitely going to be missed. I know y'all young, Global Kid Media, before he retired, before you was even born, and you know what I'm saying. And I know you was probably young as well when you know, John Thompson was coaching. So Nith, like, you have any recollection of John Thompson, like of anything?
I mean, what a resume! To be able to coach Mutombo, Allen Iverson, and all these other players you just mentioned, just amazing. But yeah, and obviously being the first African American in the NBA thing, it's just amazing to see. And his legacy would be lived on also. And what a great career. And yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
I saw Kenny Smith say this, and that's that. 2020, we can talk about how bad it's been, all the losses we've seen, all the bad things that have happened. But one thing it has done is brought a lot of awareness to people about
yeah,
the greats in the world, the good things that people have done. When you talk about him being the first African American coach to win an NCAA championship, that's huge. And just getting to hear that story will be told, and it's being told now. So that's important, even for people in my generation who never were alive during that time. But now we hear the stories. It's impactful.
yeah, exactly. And also we lost another basketball great, Cliff Robinson, man. You know what I mean, former NBA veteran, played 18 years in the NBA, won the Sixth Man of the Year in 1993, and made his only All-Star appearance in 1994. Also, we also know about the UConn's men's team, being real dominant and everything. He was the first star player for UConn. I remember I read a story about him averaging 5 points as a freshman, and Coach Jim Calhoun was going to kick him off the team. But then, like, he came back his sophomore year, averaged 20, and really, he set the trend for the headband and everything. Like, one of the first stretch big men, in the NBA. 6'11", but could shoot that ball. Uncle Cliffy, man, like he's going to be missed. It's just sad he passed away from lymphoma. 53 years old, man, really young. Had a lot of life left in him, but I guess it was just his time, man. But moving on, one last thing, man. This an icon from the sports movie world passed away, man. Chadwick Boseman, man. Everybody know him from Black Panther, but he did a lot of stuff with the with the sports movies and everything. With Jackie Robinson, really legendary dude. And I want to know, before we close out, I want y'all thoughts, starting with you, Global Kid, on the loss of the great Chadwick Boseman.
And first of all, I want to start off by saying this. I've seen a lot of people on social media in the past criticizing him for losing weight or for the way he looked for the past 3-4 years. It's easy to go say things about people when they're not going to make their life completely public.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody ever knew he was battling cancer, but it's still that much easy to go online and say, "Oh, look at him! Look what he's doing." He was dying, and that just brings some sort of awareness to the world that think before you say something, because you don't know what that person's going through. That's one thing.
Exactly.
I mean, Chadwick Boseman, just an inspiring person. I took the time to do some research and see what he's doing besides just being an actor, and it's so impactful because you see that the money, the fame, all that, it didn't change him. It only motivated him to give back more and show other people who were once in his shoes that they can do whatever they want as well.
Exactly, man. That's some good words right there from you, young fella.
Yeah, for me, Chadwick Boseman, man, he's one of the great actors in my opinion, and it was just a shock, especially on Jackie Robinson Day. This happened, and for him to be able to play in the Jackie Robinson movie, that was a great movie. So it was just an awesome thing to see there, and especially and also Black Panther. Actually, I learned a lot from the movie Black Panther, and this guy will be missed for sure. And only 43 years old, and no one knew about his cancer thing, so he kept it quiet. And that's what I like about him. He doesn't put out anything in the social media world. He just keeps it to himself and his family, and just focus on the important things. And man, still shocked that he's gone, but his legacy will be lived on. And I just have, I mean, 2020 has been crazy and horrible, and we're in a unique situation, but especially with Chadwick Boseman, man, this guy was an amazing actor. I'm telling you.
Yeah, exactly. I was actually talking to one of my friends. His name is Zach. He has this podcast called the Off the Glass podcast, and he said something on social media, and I was like, man, like this thing kind of hurt. We're losing too many people. But then he also said that he was like, everybody's transitioning. You know, every time we when somebody passes away, you know, we gain an ancestor and everything, and that you know, while we sad in the physical, the spirit world is definitely rejoicing. So that actually, you know, kind of, you know, calmed me down a lot, man. You know, and I really appreciate that message that he sent me and stuff like that. But also this to all the black people, that's all African Americans that's watching this, all men that's watching this, I really need y'all to understand the situation with colon cancer, okay? Like, especially African American men. You know, we are most likely to get colon cancer. We more likely to have an advanced stage of disease once we're diagnosed with colon cancer. We are more likely to die from colon cancer and have shorter survival after diagnosis with colon cancer. I think the age of colon cancer testing is 45, but I also think that we all need to get checked sooner. You know what I mean? We really got to take this serious, take our health serious, you know, watch what we eat, watch what we put in our bodies and everything like that. And, you know, obviously we don't have the final decision whether, you know, we here or we going and stuff like that. But, you know, I just think that we need to, you know, really take it really serious because, you know, think about it. Chadwick Boseman too, you know, healthy, relatively healthy guy and everything. And he passed away, and it's just really sad, especially at that young age, 43, so 6 years older than me. You know. Also, before I check out of here, you know, big shout out to the people that surrounded Chadwick Boseman. Nobody leaked nothing. Nobody knew anything. I thought that he was preparing for another movie role. Like all these movie actors, they gain weight, they lose weight for these roles and stuff like that. And nobody said not a single thing. We didn't get the vultures at TMZ, you know, saying that somebody such and such passed away and everything like that. So the people around him, that circle that he has, like I commend them so much, man. You know what I'm saying? So, but with that being said, man, we're going to get out of here.
Sorry,
what?
One more thing. Vince Carter is joining the ESPN desk as an analyst.
Oh, okay, that's irrelevant to what we're talking about right now, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's very irrelevant. But that's cool.
Yeah.
But we're going to get out of here though. Thank you for coming on to the show, Nathan and Global Kid. Global Kid, let everybody know who you are. Let everybody know how they can find you on your social media. And then Nathan, you go right after him.
Man, everywhere, social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, everything's at Global Kid Media. That's global like the world, kid like young person, and media is in, you know, news. Man, just trying to inspire people. Like if there's one thing we can learn from this podcast, you know, awareness is a big thing. So always be aware of what's happening and always try to learn from people.
Exactly. Nathan?
Yeah, so for me, you can find me on YouTube and Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. My Twitter is the NR_hour_. My Instagram is the NR_hour_. And just check my content out. And I'm working on some other few things for the podcast. So there you go.
Yeah, exactly, man. Thanks for coming on to the show once again. Y'all know y'all can find me at Daniel Artest Pod on Instagram and Twitter. Go to my website, DanielArtestPodcast.com. Find me on Facebook. I got a Facebook group, 2,700 members in there. Just search it, the Daniel Artest Podcast and everything. I got a page, Daniel Artest Podcast and everything. So with that being said, we out of here. Thank you for coming on to the show. Nathan, Global Kid Media. Be safe, and we are out of here.
All right. Thank you for having us.
Yes, no problem, man. Peace.